previously on Supa-Saturdays Draw-Along.
That's why I love to draw, and I wanna create Supa-Saturdays, Supa-Saturdays, Supa-Saturdays Draw-Along.
Supa-Saturdays Draw-Along with Jerome Hinds now has monthly themes, kicking off with Mainstream Month. For the month of May 2026, Jerome wants you to join him for some simple sessions on how to draw top mainstream superheroes. Sketching, inking, coloring. So pencils, styluses, brushes, and pens at the ready. And prepare for Supa-Saturdays Draw-Along Mainstream Month with Jerome Hinds.
Hello, once again. You saw that and you heard that. My name is Jerome Hinds, and for the month of May, here on Supa-Saturdays Draw-Along, we will be doing mainstream characters. You get the pun right. May as in the month of May. Mainstream. And we've been doing this now for what? I think this is our second or third week. So you can see here on the screen what we've done so far. In fact, we've done more than this. Let me just have a quick recap. We started with Batman. I'm going to put the emphasis on my drawing. There we go. We started with Batman. Then we did Bruce Wayne. Then we did a different style of Bruce Wayne. That's more towards kind of animation. Then last week we did, I think last week Wonder Woman, Iron Man, and we started The Flash. And I'm doing a style at the moment which is called grid. We're going by a very strict, stylized sheet where we start with 8 basic squares. So now with the Flash, we've reached the inking stage. So here's my layers on the right. And then make a new layer and call it inks. Now I'm using Clip Studio Paint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a few of the tools here to show you what you can do with the software, because it does make life a lot easier. So hold on. I think I just got a comment here somewhere. It's Pops. Pops, the producer emeritus, the man behind the Madness Entertainment Group. What's up, Pops? Thanks for dropping by. So here we've got, oh, I'm not setting the mood. Where's my music? Where's my music? Hang on. My usual track. The plate I did of Don Carlos. There it is. There it is. Nice one, sorted. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to use what's called the curve tool. And I'm going to do this side of the Flash's head. Then I'm going to do the same on the other side. Now I'm being lazy here. I'm trying to do this all with just one curve. Should be 2 curves, to be honest. Then we come down the side. Same the other side. I call this drawing in stereo, where you balance at one side with the other. Now I'm going to change to the polyline here. Let me show you what the polyline does. You click, hold shift, you get a straight line, and you double click to close. Now you can see that's not the tightest. That's not the tightest inking, so I'm going to go in with my pen tool and neaten that up. Yes, I'm a bit of a neat freak, you could say. You could say. You don't say. Come in here, do the earpieces. This is ideal for the polyline tool, as is out there. Now, this is a key line. So I like a thicker inking line with this. This is what I call outer detail. There. Now, the mask is what I would call inner detail. So I want a thinner line for this. So at the moment, I've got 10 pixels. Maybe try 7 pixels. Yeah, that looks about right. When you hold shift, you get a straight line. Sorry, I'm going to get the curve tool for this. Make sure I make that 7. The curve tool can do a straight line as well. It is a bit more tricky to control though, as you can see. The inking is one of those jobs that I do find easier traditionally, believe it or not. It's just that digitally, you can make more mistakes, of course, than just Control Z or Apple Z. And you're out of there. You know, you're easy to fix your mistakes. But inking traditionally, I think is actually faster in many respects. Now for this one, for this line, I want a tapered edge. I want to go up into nothing. Oops, sorry. Let me make that a bit wider. That's too much of a taper. Let me lessen that taper. And put the brush at 7. Now for the next one, I'm going to get a double taper, starting and ending with its bottom lip. There. So that's our inks for the flash. Oh, no, it's not. I'm forgetting his teeth. Don't forget his teeth, boy. I was forgetting some piece of detail. Racing off. Overexcited. Now, this is a common occurrence for me to start my show and suddenly develop sinuses. Now, most of the people that watch this show, I think it's fair to say, are from the US. So over there at the moment, it is 6:08 p.m. in the evening, but I'm coming to you from sunny Singapore, and we're exactly 12 hours ahead of you. So it's 6:08 a.m. here. That's why I'm prone to morning sniffles, you could say. You could say. 6 a.m. here. Now I'm going to fill this with black. Good. So now let's put in some base colors, shall we? Base. Actually, I'm going to put these on separate layers. So I'm going to have a red layer first. Change the color of the layer to red so you know where you are. And because we got such tight inking, I'm going to use the same red as I've used for Iron Man. So I sample that and I drop that in here. For those of you who know your superheroes, the Flash has that. Very popular red outfit. There, that's all covered. Let's do our yellows. Let's do our yellows. And once again, let's copy the yellow from Iron Man. That's yellow, that's yellow, that's yellow. We change the color of the layer to yellow. Good. Next, let's do the flash color. He's Caucasian. Let's copy Wonder Woman's facial complexion. We'll put that in there. And here you can see we can sample any color we like and make the layer that color. So there we have the flash color. Now there's something I call flesh 2. This normally does things like lips, in mouths, tongues, and that little well at the corner of the eye that you see. And it's a bit darker. Yeah, that kind of pink. And we put that on the tongue in this simple illustration. Let's change the color of this layer to that. Whoops. And we put on sampling. And then finally we have white. There, change the color layer to white. Zoom in. You know, I've got my paper color behind because I like that organic rustic feel. So there is the flag. See that? I've got a shortcut on my desktop. You want to press that, it mutes everything. So I momentarily went offline there. God damn. 1 second. Good. So you can see I inked the flash with a thinner line than Iron Man. Now this is mainstream month, as I said before. And there's another character I want to do. And I'm going to draw a classic version of Superman using the same grid technique. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, there. It must be my air comment doing something strange. Okay, let's call this grid. For any of you that have tuned in recent times, we use a grid of 8 squares. And the squares are not exactly square. They're what I call a little bit of a fat square. So let's get the vertical in. So the horizontal is slightly wider than the vertical. Fat square. Is that a contradiction in terms? By nature, that's a rectangle then, isn't it? But it's barely a rectangle. You know what I'm talking about, boy? There we are. Then we want the same again below. And here's where we get to our drawing, our averaging of distances. Yeah. And we got 2 blocks. Let me zoom in. Make that a bit more straight. Good. Get rid of this. Then we want to cut this in half. So average the halfway mark. And again, for those of you who have been in here on a regular basis, what do I always say? Keep those pencils light. That's battle cry, of course. Keep those pencils light. I still, although I'm working digitally, I still do like to keep all of my traditional disciplines in place, if possible. Because you know, something I always have to remind people of is that no matter how good you are digitally, if you can't replicate this live, you can't go to Comic Cons and earn that money. And if you're fortunate enough to be quite a popular artist, if any of your supporters come along and ask for a sketch and you can't do it, you're going to lose a lot of credibility. And speaking of Comic Cons, let me just divide this bottom set of squares in half. Madness Entertainment Group is soon going to be at the Hall of Heroes Con. A great trailer here, which I want to run and share with you. So check this out. This is coming up. Check this. This is nice.
Hey heroes, cosplayers, and pop culture fans, are you ready to assemble for the ultimate geek weekend? The Hall of Heroes Comic-Con is invading Elkhart, Indiana with 2 explosive days of comics, stars, and non-stop fun. Join us Saturday, May 30th and Sunday, May 31st, 2026 at the Northern Indiana Event Center in Elkhart. Doors open at 10 a.m. both days. VIP early entry at 9:30 a.m. on Saturday. We're rolling out a massive lineup of legends. Meet Eric Estrada from Chips and Fallout, Dirk Benedict from the A-Team and Battlestar Galactica, Tara Reid from American Pie and Sharknado, Catherine Cavadini, voice of Blossom from the Powerpuff Girls, Kel Mitchell from All That, Kieran and Kel and Mystery Men, horror icon Tony Moran, the original Michael Myers in Halloween, and more. Plus, top comic artists including Arthur Sidem, Marvel Zombies and Deadpool, John Kramer from Batman and Wonder Woman, Keith Pollard, a legendary Marvel artist on Spider-Man and Thor, and more. Scott Rosema, Stuart Sager, and others. Get autographs, photo ops, and chats with the stars and creators who shaped your favorites. The floor is packed with over 150 vendors, artists, and cosplayers offering exclusive comics, collectibles, original art, and merch. Enjoy cosplay contests for kids and adults with great prizes, live Q&A panels, artist showcases, interactive zones, and family-friendly fun all weekend. And the excitement goes live. Madness Entertainment Group is broadcasting straight from the con floor all weekend on YouTube, Build, and Rumble. Catch every moment as it happens, then relive it anytime with the full shows available later on MedTV on Roku. Grab your tickets today at hohcomiccon.org. Hall of Heroes Comic-Con, May 30th and 31st, 2026. Northern Indiana Event Center, Elkhart, Indiana. We'll see you there, heroes. This ad was created by Ned on behalf of Madness Entertainment Group and Hall of Heroes Comic-Con.
You saw that and you heard that. Indeed. Madness Entertainment Group. We're going to be there in force at the Hall of Heroes Con in Indiana. How fantastic is that? And I'm old school, yeah. I come from the Bronze and Silver Age of comic drawing. And Keith Pollard, who was big back when I was a kid, he's going to be there, man. Good Lord. I wish I could be there. But make sure you check that out. So here we've got our grid. See the layer called grid? So now we're going to start with our sketch. So this, I'm going to call it KL. KL for keyline. So how I want to start this is I want to start this with the peripheral of our character's head. I'm not going to tell you who it is yet. I'm going to keep sketching to see if you can guess what we're doing. So your pencils are ready. I hope you're following. Right, so I'm going to put a marker just below the halfway mark here. Right, drawing is all about averaging. There. Then I'm going to put another marker just on the outer perimeter, about halfway up this square, about there. And the same on the other side. Sorry, my phone started ringing in for some reason. It's an odd hour for my phone to be ringing. Now I'm going to join these up with a curve. This is a, excuse me, my goodness. This is our character's ears. Same over here. Join them up with a curve. I like to, it's called plotting. Excuse me. When I woke up this morning, I was perfectly fine. Did a small workout. As soon as I come online, my nose decides to play silly beggar. Oh dear, excuse me. Now I want a gradient to come up to just next to the top of the cube. So we've got the start point, end point. So you touch the beginning, you touch the end. You plot your path, then you join up. Then the other side, just outside the periphery of the top of your top square. Give me the beginning, give me the end, touch base, touch, then you join. How lovely. Now, about half the distance, see that distance here of the depth of a square? Let's zoom in. See the depth of the square, yeah? We want about standard that distance above here, right at the center. Give me a marker. Now give me a gradient that meets that marker. I'm not telling you who we're drawing yet. I'm wait to see if you can feel it. Then about 1/3 along here and about half the distance, give me another marker. You join that. Got that? Good. Then come along and just inside the edge of the square, give me a straight line. Then join up the edge of the head. I think you're going to start getting this already. You're going to start to guess who we're drawing very shortly. Good. Now in the center, give yourself a little V at the junction of the top squares. Now let's complete the ears. Complete that curve to come in and down. And same here. In and down. Then just under halfway up, give me a little marker here. And the same on the other side. Good. From there, straight line. Join up our character's sideburns. There. There. See if you can guess whose hairline that is. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My nose and my eyes started streaming. During my stream. How bizarre is that? So now we've got this marker here and this marker here. Join them up. Remember to touch where you're coming from and touch where you're going. Same here, same there. Join up. Good. Now I think the next part's going to really give it away, right? What I want now is come in about 1/3 of the distance here. Give me a marker. They're not quite far down here. So make that about there. It's about 1/5 of the way in. Give me a marker like this. Give me a marker like that. And just on this line, give me a curve that's coming away from that. And the same here, give me a curve that's coming away. Now on the halfway mark, about just under halfway down, give me another curve that just goes over. Goes over about this much. Then in line with this, give me a marker over here, in line with the curve that we've done here. So what I want you to do is I want you to join up this part here. I want you to come down here and join up here. And just inside the halfway line here, give me another curve. And I want this to come down and meet that curve there. and then come to a point there. Now I'm pretty sure this is giving the game away. You know who we're drawing. You know who that is. I'm not going to say anything, but I think you know that how this is going to be. Excuse me. Oh, damn, my nose, terrible. Good, so we got that outline. Then down here on the bottom square, I want you to come across about just under halfway. There, give me a marker here and a marker there. And join that up. And then just below, halfway between this quarter, give me a little accent there. Good. Then let's finish off the shape of the face. Halfway between the quarter and the bottom rectangle, give me a marker. Then halfway along the bottom square there, halfway along here, join these up. There we are. And then join up the chin. We join up the outer head. Good. And give me a little vertical here, exactly on that quarter mark there. Let's zoom out, see what we've got. Yeah, you can see what this is going to be, can't you? I think you can already tell. So now, on just above, we've got a halfway mark here. Give me a vertical that comes down next to the center line. Stops just short of the lip. And give me a V. One mark there, and another mark here. Good. Then just under halfway along, give me a little marker there, and another one here. Just above the halfway line, give me a horizontal there, there, and there. Then give me a half circle there. We render that. Good. Now just inside our center line, give me a slope that comes up towards the air. There. Same here. A slope that goes up towards the air. Very stylized, yeah? Then the hook comes down. Hook comes down. Then we slightly thicken this. Come from thin to thick. There. Let's zoom out and see what we got. Yes. You can see what this is gonna be, can't you? It's Superman. Oh, there, my nose. Hang on. I think I might have to invest in an air purifier. Not sure what's going on here, man. Now, let's see if we've got some more detail we can put in here. Okay, at the top here, give me a curve that swings around to here. So it goes over the top, around, there. Then it meets the edge of the head, there. Good. Then to accentuate the quiff, give me a curve. Imagine it carries through. And it stops at the halfway mark. Good. That just about finishes our key lines. So we can switch off the grid now. So there's our sketch. So let's join this ink, shall we? Make a new layer, inks. Let's get our polyline. Again. And should I try a width? I'm gonna go for a width of 10 pixels. So click here. There, holding shift to get a dead straight line. Double click. Let's do some freehand, shall we? Let's do some freehand. I'm gonna do these ears the old-fashioned way. Freehand, boy. Come in. There, now I'm not using stabilization at the moment, which can be, I'm quite used to using stabilization when I ink. It's much more like a reality, I find. Let's use the polyline to do the outer head. Let's go freehand again, shall we? Now this time, I am going to use stabilization. Stabilizer. So I'm going to come down to a point. And let's go back to our polyline. I'm going to go down to 7 pixels for this. There. Let's go freehand again. Let's go organic with this quiffing. I'm going freehand because I want this to finish in a nice point. This is what I call the essence of inking. Thick to thin. There, good. Let's put the shading in. Now we could do this with the curve tool, like how we did the flash's head earlier. But as I mentioned, I'm using Clip Studio Paint. I want to take this opportunity as well to demo to you the tools available, and hopefully you're drawing along with me at home as well. Whoops, no, this is a bit tricky. Let's use a different tool, shall we? Now you can use the polyline lasso to do this. Watch this. Click here. Press Option so we can do a fine line. Go back to the beginning. There's a fly in my studio this morning. The hell? What you get in here, boy? What an odd morning this is. There, I used the irregular lasso to do that. My goodness. My nose. Terrible. I'm going to make those eyebrows slightly thicker. I'm going to come down. There. The polygonal lasso. I often use that for a lot of different things in drawing. Very useful. There, that's eyebrows. Now let's get a straight line. Put in the top of the eyes there. And we can freehand those eyes. Now, normally, when I draw something live, I normally do the eyes last, because the eyes are the most important part of a face. Typically, I would leave those to last. Get the straight line tool again. Put in all of this detail. I normally like thick to thin, thick to thin. Yes, you know what? I don't like that. I'm gonna go on it thick to thin. I want this one thick to thin, thin to thick to thin. Let me equal up those tapers. Same with the bottom lip, same with the cleft of the chin. And I'm going to freehand those nostrils. Make them less mechanical. Okay, let me switch off the sketch. Okay, we've got the basics of our drawing here. Now I can see my eyeball has a little bit of a discrepancy. Let me zoom in and tidy that up. Good. So immediately we can fill this with black. And we zoom in to make sure everything is covered. Good, got to check those bits there and make sure the inking is tight. See that bit was overflowing there? Good. Zoom out. Now let's put in the flesh color. Flesh. And he's Caucasian, so let's copy the color of the flesh. And let's change the color of that layer. This flesh. Yeah, good. And what I really like about, whoops, this thing can be a bit odd sometimes. That's the right color. And the hair, I love the way how comics and animation depict black with like a navy blue. So come into the color picker, sky blue, and in the darker, less saturated area. We drop that in there. We zoom in. There. With a bit of blackness in here. There. Let's always zoom in to check. Yes. There's good old Superman. And one of my battle cries here on Supa-Saturdays Draw-Along.
Save!
Never forget to save. Good. Now something that I didn't do on the Flash, and I haven't done on Superman yet. So let me make a new folder. I'll make a folder called Superman. I'm going to return to the Flash. And I'm going to put in a shadow. Shadow. How I do that is I make a solid black layer at 30% opacity on the layer. So let's have a look. I'm going to get my curve tool. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to put a curve on that side. I'm going to draw a line down here. Now, with the paint bucket tool, I'm going to say refer to all layers. And it sees up to that line. Or you can see here, my paper texture is causing a little bit of confusion. I come in and put that in. Oh, look, it did it with my yellow. I didn't see that. Okay, let's switch off my shadow. Oh, look at my yellow. If I wanted to avoid that happening, I could have switched off my paper texture behind. For some reason, the color was particularly sensitive there. So here's the shadow layer. There. And let's do something similar for Superman. So there's the shadow. Superman. Make another layer. Call it shadow. And set it in 30% opacity. So I'm going to get my pen and I want it to come in on the forehead. Remember, this is a very squarish kind of drawing, yeah? Get it to come in. And I'm going to put just a bit of a shadow over here. Now we can get the paint bucket and tell it to see only that area. Excuse me. Okay. So here, done it again. If you're using a Mac, if you press the Apple key too rapidly with something else, I haven't figured it out yet, the entire thing goes dead. It calls up Siri. Save! Indeed. Save. Good stuff. Okay, now let's have a look. We've done. Now, funny thing is, I've just done, we've been practicing using a grid, correct? So I want to do an exercise now where we use shapes. And I'm going to try something a bit novel today. I'm going to move away from a superhero character. And I'm going to draw a character that I think the shapes are very, very clever. And this character is very, very popular in pop culture. Okay, so I'm going to, let me export my time lapse. I did it with the Flash and Superman, you can see here. I'm going to say okay. And this is Supa-Saturdays Draw-Along episode 36. So you can see it exporting my time lapse here. Such a useful function, exporting time lapse. A lot of my students, a lot of my students use Procreate. It's another very good software. So this is episode 36. So in there, I'm going to put the Flash and Stoops. Good. Now something that I want to explore is drawing a character that's got very, very, very nice shapes. Right now, I'm not going to tell you who this is. I'm going to show my softer side with this next exercise. So get your pencil. I'm going to set it to black. Get your paper at the ready. Get your paper at the ready. And remember, keep those pencils light. Let me zoom in slightly. So what I want, we can do two characters here, I think. So what I want over here is a flattish circle, okay? So quite big. Give me a circle, but it's quite bulbous. Okay, try to follow this basic shape. Now try to get it symmetrical. Let me get in a bit closer. Gotta make sure you can see what I'm doing at home as well. I'm telling you to keep the pencils light, but I've got to, of course, make sure that I make them dark enough that you can see what's going on, so you can follow me. This is quite a bulbous kind of circle, you can call it. And the key to drawing is shapes. Definitely. The more accurate you can get your shapes, the better your drawing will be. Remember, if your shape is wrong, by default, the inner detail is going to be off in some shape or form. There. Okay, that'll do. So we've got this bulbous kind of roundish kind of circle. Let me see if I can make this any more symmetrical. I think we could bring this down slightly. This is what you call the averaging side of stuff. I'm not sure if you get better at doing this with age, you know. I'm sure you do to some degree. But then the opposite starts to happen. And maybe your eyesight isn't quite as good. And you're averaging a bit off. God damn. Good. Now what you do is you find the center. Find the center of your shape. Give yourself a crosshairs dead center if you can. Then from there, take a line down, take your line up. I'm doing this all on one layer. I often do this on different layers. But this is, I want to say a simple exercise. Whoops, that's not straight, is it? I'm going into Comic Con mode, where everything's organic and on one layer, because it's live. So once you got that, I need an intersection here. Give yourself a marker about there. That's about what? That's about 1/3 of the way up, this entire thing. Give me a line there, an intersection line. Then imagine the depth of that circle, almost again. What you got above here, almost again below. So you're looking at about there. This distance above that marker, added again below, to about there. So I call it a salt shaker kind of shape. Give yourself a horizontal here. And not quite as wide as the circle. Come in a bit, give yourself a marker. I roughly bring that down to the bottom. And from here, I want a gentle curve coming in and making the salt shaker shape. Come in and over. And complete the shape here. There. Check your symmetry. I want it to be quite bulbous. So I'm going to take that out slightly. That means that's probably a bit far out there. There. So now we can get rid of some of our construction. Hopefully you kept those pencils light. There, and the bottom nice and rounded. Good. Check your symmetry, check your symmetry. Okay, I can see that this is a bit more narrow over there. Excuse me. Goodness, my nose. Now, should I have started another time lapse for this? Maybe I should have. Okay, that'll do. So now continue your halfway vertical straight down here. Maybe I should have done that before. That would have helped keep my symmetry, would make it easier. So now imagine you come to the top, and in the top third, about here and here, I'm not going to tell you who we're drawing yet, but I think when we add this piece of detail, you're going to guess who we're drawing. Top third there, and about there. Now we want a triangle on the top here, right? So give yourself another marker halfway between those points. And join them up. There. And here. And I think that's pretty clear who it is that we're drawing. Yes, it is Hello Kitty. I like this character because of the use of shapes. It's a very, very effective design, and constructing it, you learn a lot about perceived simple character design. Good, I balanced up those ears. So now the construction. Here's a part that I like. What I call a rounded rectangle. Give yourself a marker just inside of the halfway between the outer body and your center line. Give yourself a marker here. And what you want is an intersection curve coming in there. Give yourself an intersectional curve coming in here. This gives you a good start. Because what we need is about halfway down here, halfway down the outside, it's going to come across there. So now join up this curve to meet that. We're doing what's called drawing through the object. And as it comes through here, now, as you come out here, you want a parallel line to that bottom line that you've created. Same on the other side, parallel line. And as it comes outside, the curve will join up. It comes outside the body. You want a curve coming out to join with that parallel line that you've got outside. I like that piece of intersection on the body. I think it's very clever. Now in the center, you want a line that comes to just below the arms. Give yourself a marker here and round off dead center. There. And give yourself a little marker that comes up here. Good. Then what I want is just below here, a straight line comes across here. Good. Now we drew through the object. Between here and here, give me a semicircle. Construction is all about giving yourself markers that makes life easier. Then on the outside, here, just under halfway from the edge, give yourself a perpendicular line that comes in to meet the body. Good. Now just above, where you get the intersection, give me a circle. Good. And dead center here. You see that dead center there? And almost dead center here. But a little bit more to the periphery. You come down from the halfway line and give yourself an oval. Try to balance them up. Now, I would say these are the easiest parts of the illustration. The tough parts comes in a moment. Right, now give me a whisker just below the halfway mark. Starts on the face and goes off. Then we want, there's three altogether. The bottom one is about half the depth of the arm here. And then the other one is exactly between and a little bit shorter. There. And here comes what I think is the most difficult part of drawing Hello Kitty. It's the bow. First thing I start with is come over to the ear on the left and right at the top here, between here and here, almost halfway down. Exactly on top of the ear, we want a big circle. It's a little bit squashed. Give this a big circle. Then coming over it encroaches over the ear and just over the halfway mark. There, and it comes up, through here, and up here. You want to create this side of the bow. There. And the other side of the bow is actually smaller. Comes over here. Whoops, can you see my computer stalling there? It's thinking about doing something. Coming over here. There, see this side is actually smaller. Intersects, it comes out over here. We're completely drawing through the object here, okay? Then we get a curve coming underneath. And two little decorations on the inside, like the folding of the material. And make that a little bit wider. There. Then one on the other side as well. These little inconsistencies make the character design very nice, I think. Okay, so we've got all of our basic detail there. So because I sketched everything on one layer, I'm going to call that LO for layout. Now I'm going to make another layer and call this one inks. At the moment, I've got a comment there, I think. I wonder who's that lurking. Oh no, it's Raoul, my partner in crime from this morning. That's a cute chipmunk. How dare you call Kitty a chipmunk? Yes, correct, Raoul. It's Hello Kitty. In fact, Raoul does the late night art attack with me here on the MadLad Entertainment Group. And I think I've got a recap of what we got up to this morning. Very early in the morning, 1 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Very late on a Friday night, late night art attack. Here is what we got up to earlier today.
Previously on Late Night Art Attack.
I will miss you. What's this? What, Hello Kitty, is this commission for Dan? Raul's referring to Dan Sen, who we've done a lot of drawing for from Thunderzone Comics. I do a lot of work for Thunderzone as well, and Raul has done a bit as well. Now, this Hello Kitty is strictly for the viewers to follow. Cheeky man. So you saw there what we got up to this morning on Late Night Art Attack. I was actually drawing a character created by Dan Sen, and Raul was drawing a scene from it. Sorry, Raul, I got a terrible memory. What was the name of that concept you were drawing? I can't remember the name of the concept. Terrible. Let me go back to my music. Okay, so now we're going to do some inking. Inks. So remember, we drew through the object. So we've got to be careful now of not inking misinformation. So I'm going to ink this freehand. It's perfect for a mechanical tool, but I'm going to do it traditionally, okay? So my brush is 12. Now the animation is different. The way Hello Kitty is drawn, a lot of it is a dead weight line, meaning that it's one thickness all the way. But I'm going to vary my line weights here. So in the detail here, I'm going to go thick there, then it's with it on the inside. And as it comes out, I'm going to go thick again. It's what you call creative license. And this is the inner detail. So I'm going to keep that more subtle. Thick, thin, thick. And in the detail, more subtle. Now the top of the head meets the air and stops. The thing is, I'm using a backhand. Sorry. I'm doing this backhandedly, which is not always the easiest. Thick, thin. I'm going to come thick again as it comes down here. There. I'm going to come up over here. I'm just going to make the beginning of this a little bit thicker. And there's a slight encroachment here. Thin, thick. And Hello Kitty's face is right in front. We drew through the object. And here, I'm going to go thick, slightly thinner, not too much. Come in and join up. And then with the body, I'm going to go thick, thin, thick at the bottom to give it gravity. Thick, thin. No, the depth of that leg is not actually deep enough, so I have to rectify that penciling and go a bit lower, vertical there, and with a slight curve in the pants leg, but thinner. It's inner detail. Outer detail here, thick, sorry, thick, thin, thick. Then the sleeve, slightly thinner. Thick. Whoops. thick, thin, thick. Good. Then the nose. I'm not concentrating today, you know. I can tell I'm not in the mood. Not in the mood, boy. Take your time. The eyes. The eyes actually is filled with black. There you get that basic shape going. And I want my whiskers to go from thick to thin. Thick, thin. Thick to thin. So let's fill in our eyes are black. Let me get the paint bucket, see if I can do it. Let me switch off my paper texture. That'll make it easier. I'll switch off my sketch as well. So now we just got very white background. And I forgot Hello Kitty's collar. How can you do that, boy? Thick. I'm horrible this morning. Thick, thin, thick. Okay, let's switch off to construction. Okay. There's our pretty little missy. Now, can I remember the colors of Hello Kitty? I don't think I can. And I've got another comment there. Techo versus Kitty. Was it Techo this morning that you were drawing? Hokum? I got a mental blank, you know, what you were drawing this morning. I'm getting old. The name of the concept. I just got to thicken this air up slightly. I can't remember the color scheme of Hello Kitty. How embarrassing. I think it's a pink outfit. Is Hello Kitty white? Hang on. Let me have a quick. How embarrassing. You can't remember the colors of Hello Kitty. Let's have a look. Hello Kitty. Yeah, I think. Yeah, just white. White and pink, basically. So I'm going to come in here. Make the paper less white. Less vivid. I'm going to put white. Get my paint bucket. There. White. Let me change the color of my layer to white. Then her outfit is magenta. Very rich, very saturated. So we make a layer, call it magenta. Whoops. Only that part is magenta. Well, that's a bit bright, isn't it? God damn. That's too bright. Okay, let's try that. Let me change the color of my layer to magenta. Let me go back to white. I think her costume is white here and here. Her bow is the same magenta. And the nose is actually yellow. So I'll change the color of this layer. Yes, that looks about right. On my other monitor, That magenta looks crimson. God damn. Very odd. Save. So let me put all these layers into a folder and call it Hello Kitty. Now let me go over again why we did Hello Kitty. I like the fundamental shapes. I think it's a very clever design. I think it's more clever than people actually realize. That's why it's so popular. Then I didn't really ink it like the original. The original has very, very thick key line. I did it more with a comic discipline with thick and thin, but the original has very, very thick key lines. Dead weight lines. And I think as well, when I practice drawing this, I think I might have inverted it. I think Kitty's ribbon is normally on the right, you know, but for some reason when I taught myself how to draw this, I stuck on the wrong. I think that's actually more correct. That inversion. Save. How long have we got left? We still got 15 minutes left. Now, I actually want to. We've done grids and we've done some fundamental shapes there. And if you've been tuning into Supa-Saturdays Draw-Along for a period of time, I've done a lot of work with skeletons. And there's one character that I'd like us to draw. I'd like to start it this week. We won't get a chance to finish it. But I'm going to start the drawing now. So give me a second. Let me get a new document. I'm going to paste my paper texture because I like my paper texture. There it is, yeah. This is going to be portrait. So we get 100%. Good. And we're going to start with a skeleton. I put the texture's the wrong orientation. That's nicer. The grain should be going across the paper. Fake paper. He's a fake. Okay, let's zoom in. So let's just go back to our previous exercise. Make sure we save. Right. Okay, now hold on. Let me get my notes sorted out. Hold on. I've got a book for sale. I'm going to play a quick trailer of my MAGA Man book. I'm going to see you back here on the other side of this.
If you like stories about truth, honor, and justice, then you should check out MAGA Man. It is Donald Trump as many now see him, the defender of justice and a warrior for peace through strength. MAGA Man is an all-American style 22-page comic book, so get over to fundmycomic.com and support the culture of truth, honor, and justice. With MAGA Man, the most needed hero of all. MAGA Man.
You saw that, you heard that. So get down to fund my comic and help the starving artists to be less starving and hopefully more of an artist. So here we are with another construction, yeah? So I'm going to be core time lapse. And this next character we're going to do, I'm not going to mention what his name is. It's a him, right? And I like the construction of this character, right? That's why we're doing it. So something that I always explain with anatomy is the most important bone, I think, is the spine. Yeah. So what I want you to do is, we're going dead center, and we're going to start with the spine. Now our character is quite barrel chested. It's a bit of a 3/4 rotation. So we're going to displace the spine slightly and make sure we leave enough space for the legs. So immediately we got a chest out. We got a chest out character. You can see that. And he's a big guy. So the width of his shoulders are almost as long as his spine. So he's slightly rotated. So we want more shoulder on the left than on the right. We're looking at him from his right side. So his left shoulder is going to be less. Now, smaller hips. I'm not going to mention who he is. I think when we get through the skeleton, you're going to guess who this is. Now, if I started too big, we're going to make sure you leave enough space for the leg. Now, as discussed here on Supa-Saturdays Draw-Along, put in some nodes for the joints. So we've got slightly less hip on the left than on the right. And then the upper leg is just a little, on this character, it's just a little bit shorter than the spine. So we're going to lock the knees. So this is the knee about here. Then the lower leg is about the same length as the upper leg. Whoops. A bit low on the paper. Sorry about that. Make sure you're not too low on the paper. Leave enough space for the feet. And this other leg is that slight perspective. And this knee is even more locked. This is very important to get right in a stance. It's a locking knee. Then the lower leg comes down. And depth. So we want this ankle to be higher in the frame than the other one. So basic shape. Give me a circle. We're going to do circles and sticks for the feet and hands. Give me a circle here. It's my nose. I can see I've got a few of you here watching. Thank you so much for tuning in to Supa-Saturdays Draw-Along. That foot on the left is coming towards us. It's foreshortened. This foot is more a profile. So give me a ball. It's called a ball and sticks method. And give me 2 prongs here to designate the feet. But they kind of curve inwards. That's a better shape. Curve them inwards. Then over here, get 1 toe on the far side and 1 toe a bit closer to us. Make sure you get this depth, that depth there. We need that for the power of the stance, okay? Now, here comes the part that's going to give away. Just over the halfway mark, give me another set of shoulders. Huh? Another set of shoulders? How many arms has this person got, boy? There. And it comes down in a sequence. There. And this one's slightly inside. Some of you will be guessing by now. Now this arm, let's go for the inner arm. This arm's going to stop just above the hip. In fact, no, our guy is bigger. Sorry. Widen those shoulders. I'm looking at this. I'm thinking our man is bigger than this, you know. I'm going to widen that shoulder. Make those shoulders a little bit wider. Yeah. So now, I'm going to lock this side a little bit more. Bring that in slightly. Good. Locking of knees is a very, very important part of a stance. So now this other elbow is just up here. Then we want a wrist just above this knee. Give me a long forearm. I want an elbow about here. I think you're beginning to guess who this is. And this character's got some very long forearms. Did you get the pun? Okay, I'm not going to say anything. Now give me a ball here. We're using the ball and sticks method to construct the hands, okay? Give me a ball there. Give me a ball here. Wow, my eyes and my nose are absolutely streaming today. Absolutely terrible. Now, something that I can see that's a bit off from my drawing is this shoulder here is probably a little bit low. I'm going to take that up slightly. Well, not Alice. This needs to come down a little bit. About here. I think that looks better. Construction boy. There. So then we want a thumb here. We got 3 fingers coming over here. Same here. Finger there, finger there, finger there. And we come over the other side. You want a wrist about here. Now I think this shoulder's a bit long. We've got to make sure we get the depth of character. So can you shorten that outer shoulder here? And we want the depth of excuse me, we want the depth of character. So this wrist cannot be lower than this one. And we want this arm to come out slightly. So give me a wrist about there. Then coming up there. Remember I said I like to know where I'm going and where I'm coming from. So we want this arm to be reaching out slightly. And it's just outside of the shoulder here. It's about there. Then this arm is outstretched. Yeah, give me the other wrist about here. Can any of you guess who we're drawing yet? Now we've got a little bit of perspective going on here. So we want this ball to have a certain kind of shape to it. That's going to be a thumb. This is going to be a finger. This is going to be a finger. And that's going to be a finger as well. Now this arm is probably a little bit long. I don't want the fingers to come past the kneecap. So can you shorten your arm a bit there? And this arm is up a bit. Give me a similar shape. Imagine a palm here. Give me another thumb here. This finger is going to come in slightly. And then little finger here. Now, let's look at the all-important head. So first thing is, a head is basically a ball on a stick. So we're going to curve that neck. Then the head, the fundamental shape of the head is very strong. It's going to come up over the top. Now the head is small, so this is going to make our character. He's a tall guy. Square chin. Come back. Flat top of the head. Good. Give me this basic kind of shape of a head. Very strong jawline. and the head is small. You can see that, yeah? Because you know you can judge the height of a character from how many heads tall they are. So when you make the head small, you're implying that the character's very big. And immediately what we can also do as well, we put in the center line so we roughly know the way the character is facing away from us. So you can see the stance there. Can any of you guess who we're drawing yet? Remember, this is mainstream month. So I'm not going to say anything yet. So that's skeleton, a layer of SK. So next, we're going to go for a layer of fleshing out, FO. Now, what I always do, of course, right? If you've been coming in here at all, I always put underpants in on my characters. This gives it a good gauging for the legs. Yeah. So let's go to the fleshing out. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got going on, man. First thing, this guy has big shoulders. Let's start to rough out his shoulders. Oh, we've only got 3 minutes left. You know what? I think we'll leave the roughing out. We'll leave the fleshing out until next week. If you want to take a screen grab of that, let me just check my stance, make sure I'm happy with it. Now, I've got this nice barrel chest going on. The only thing that I'm not sure about is I think I need, check your drawing, make sure this foot is not too far to the left. I'm going to bring that in slightly. Okay, I'm going to bring that in slightly. Still locking the knee. A locked knee is a very, very, very important aspect of a stance. Okay, I prefer that. Yeah, I think I prefer this. Good. We're going to continue with this next week. You know who this is. Yes, this is going to be Forearm from Ben 10. My son used to watch that a lot, and I kind of got me into it as well. So, what do I have to do? Save! Save. So here we are. Supa-Saturdays Draw-Along, episode 36. There it is. And I shall save this as 4. That's it. Okay. We're pretty much at the end of the show. Let's have a quick recap of what we did earlier. Previously, on Supa-Saturdays Draw-Along, we completed the Flash and Superman. Wonder Woman was there. Then we did Hello Kitty. I like the strong shapes of Hello Kitty. And then we made a start to Forearm. We should complete this next week. This is going to be great fun. One of my favorite exercises. So thanks once again for tuning to Supa-Saturdays Draw-Along. Hang on a second. Before I go, I see a comment. Versus Forearms, good show. You're welcome, Raul. Thanks for tuning in. Tico says hello. Tico was the name of the monkey in my drawing from the preview of this morning. Oh, this is Joker, mate. Joker. Thanks once again for tuning in to Supa-Saturdays Draw-Along. And I'm going to play that trailer one more time for the Hall of Heroes Con, where Madness Entertainment Group will be broadcasting live for the entire event. And that's at the end of the month. And, got some viewers apparently from Pilled. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's the same time, same place next week. I'm going to be back here. We're going to complete forearm here. Meanwhile, I'm going to leave you with a trailer from the Hall of Heroes Con. Madness, it's going to be in the house big time. Peace.
Hey heroes, cosplayers, and pop culture fans, are you ready to assemble for the ultimate geek weekend? The Hall of Heroes Comic-Con is invading Elkhart, Indiana with 2 explosive days of comics, stars, and non-stop fun. Join us Saturday, May 30th and Sunday, May 31st, 2026 at the Northern Indiana Event Center in Elkhart. Doors open at 10 a.m. both days. VIP early entry at 9:30 a.m. on Saturday. We're rolling out a massive lineup of legends. Meet Eric Estrada from Chips and Fallout, Dirk Benedict from the A-Team and Battlestar Galactica, Tara Reid from American Pie and Sharknado, Catherine Cavadini, voice of Blossom from the Powerpuff Girls, Kel Mitchell from All That, Kevin and Kel and Mystery Men, horror icon Tony Moran, the original Michael Myers in Halloween, and more. Plus, top comic artists including Arthur Sidem, Marvel Zombies and Deadpool, John Kramer from Batman and Wonder Woman, Keith Pollard, a legendary Marvel artist on Spider-Man and Thor, and more. Scott Rosama, Stuart Sager, and others. Get autographs, photo ops, and chats with the stars and creators who shaped your favorites. The floor is packed with over 150 vendors, artists, and cosplayers offering exclusive comics, collectibles, original art, and merch. Enjoy cosplay contests for kids and adults with great prizes, live Q&A panels, artist showcases, interactive zones, and family-friendly fun all weekend. And the excitement goes live. Madness Entertainment Group is broadcasting straight from the con floor all weekend on YouTube, Build, and Rumble. Catch every moment as it happens, then relive it anytime with the full shows available later on MedTV on Roku. Grab your tickets today at hohcomiccon.org. Hall of Heroes Comic-Con, May 30th and 31st, 2026. Northern Indiana Event Center, Elkhart, Indiana. We'll see you there, heroes. This ad was created by Nim on behalf of Madness Entertainment Group and Hall of Heroes Comic-Con.
If you missed the live viewing of any Med production, you can find all our content on Roku or as a member of this channel. Madness Entertainment Group.